Hi, I'm Melissa with 10 Health TV. I am out near the Jane Snyder Trail Center, and I am out with two amazing marathon racers. Let me know a little bit about how you guys got into running marathons.
I started running about 8 or 9 years ago, distance running, and I did it just to get out of my desk. Actually, I'm a lawyer, so getting away from my desk and getting some exercise is how I got started.
I actually started running a long time ago. I'm a bit of a lifelong runner, but I competed a little bit in high school and college, and I took about 20 years off. So about 4 or 5 years ago, I got back into it, and I got into a group with Austin and a few other guys, and next thing you know, you're running half marathons and marathons. So.
What was that moment where you decided, okay, I'm going to be just sort of a casual runner, and then you're going to take it to that next level where you're running marathons pretty regularly?
Well, for me, it was I am competitive person. So when I started to when I decided I'm going to switch from playing basketball or doing some other sports to running, I kind of decided, well, let's just see what I can do, and it just kind of natural. As soon as I found a training group, I just decided, okay, I'm going to start signing up for races. And marathon wise, that was kind of an eye-opening experience. I decided I would try to put my name in the lottery for New York, and got my name pulled, which is unusual on your first try. And so my first marathon was New York City Marathon, and it was eye-opening. I did not respect the distance the first time I did it, and that was a tough race. I said I'd never run another one, but here I am. Lincoln this year will be my 7th. So,
wow.
For me, the competitive part was just sort of a voyage of discovery. I started running with this group and just trying to keep up with them, and then I would sign up for races, and then you just try to keep up with the guys you're running with, and then you train a little bit harder as they train harder. So it was just a natural thing for me. And this is just, to be honest, this is my first marathon. I've run a lot of half marathons, but guys like Austin have been after me to give it a try, and so we could train together. So upcoming Lincoln is my first full marathon, so we'll see how that goes.
A lot of people will say, why? When they hear about marathon runners, why run? Why not get into bicycling? Why not get into some other sport? Well, why is it running that really has a calling to you?
I guess for me, running is something that anybody can do. First of all, you don't need a pair of shoes and just go out and do it. You don't need expensive equipment or anything of that nature. But why running? I kind of fell in love with it. I mean, it's just something that, it's maybe I'm a little bit of a masochist, I guess. It hurts a little, but I like to feel tired. I like the work. And for me, it just was natural and something I kind of fell in love with. So.
It's a little bit of the same for me. I've run quite a bit over the course of my life. I just haven't run to the level I run at now. So it's become a bit of a routine for me. It's part of who I am. As soon as I got to a point where it wasn't hard work every single time I went for a run, made it a lot easier. Mm-hmm. And then it also became a bit of a social network for me. I enjoy being around guys like Austin and the crew that we run with. So that's been a big part of it for me too. It's just a social network too.
Yep.
What's your training schedule look like? How much of a part of your life has this become?
I run 6 days a week. So typically run at lunchtime. Some of these guys like Jason do doubles and go in the morning and at lunch, but typically I just run once a day, 6 days a week. Usually run for about an hour on the weekdays and then go for a long run on Saturday morning. And then I have most of my weekend is completely off from running and recovery, but that long run on Saturdays is usually a couple hours. So
I've ramped up over time to, running 6 to 7 days a week. It's usually about 6 to 8 hours a week. But when I first started, it was 3, 4, 5 times a week, just as my schedule allowed and how my body felt too. So I've gotten to the point where I'm at over 5 years. So it's grown. And then once the marathon's done, we'll probably ramp back down a little bit, take a little time, and then decide what the next race is going to be that I train for.
Okay, so what is your ultimate goal? I mean, where you're at now, where are you looking toward?
So for the marathon, I've been chasing going under 3 hours, which I should have done multiple times at this point, but I've been right there several times and just wanting to go. So this time my goal is to run somewhere under 3 hours, probably not faster than 2:55 though. That's probably in that range is where I would consider this a success. And then we also race other distances and other so like for instance in the summer we'll change gears and do 5Ks and even things as short as a mile, and it'll be your goals will just change towards whatever race I guess is next on the calendar.
So when you're doing something like a shorter distance, does that just feel like a sprint to you?
Yeah. Sometimes.
Yeah, when you're in the middle of a mile going as fast as you can, it
Yeah.
feels almost harder than a marathon in some ways, but it's just very short.
It's a different kind of pain.
Yeah.
So.
But it's fun. I was a miler back in high school, and so I love doing that. I like going fast. So the marathon is something a little bit new for me, but my goals are essentially what Austin's are. We run together a lot, so I'm also trying to go under 3 hours, see what happens. It'll be a voyage of discovery, but it's the one nice thing is that because we didn't compete as much in college where we're in sort of the prime of our running life, we're still chasing some of our fastest times at our age now, which is, I'm over 40, so.
So what advice do you have for people who are sort of getting into running and maybe would like to do a marathon in the future but are a little bit intimidated yet? What advice do you have for the beginning runner?
I would say take your time. It's, running is simple in some respects. All you do is lace up your shoes. It's also, you can get hurt if you do try to do too much too fast. So kind of take your time working into it. And I would say also, go visit Ann, get a good pair of shoes. That's something that most people, it is an important thing because you only got 2 feet. And so getting shoes that are right for you helps. So.
I hear a lot of people who sort of dive right into the marathon. That seems like the popular race right now that a lot of people are doing. I took it a different route. I really started with 5Ks, 10Ks. That was kind of the max distance for a while for me. So I would just agree with Austin. Just ease into it. See what your body says to you after you spend 3 or 4 months training a little bit, maybe doing a race or two, shorter distance race. Then work up to it. Create some goals. Try the half, try some other things and create other goals and see how you do and then build up to the full.
Well, thank you guys for coming out, and I know you guys have some training to do today, but thank you for coming out, and I guess we'll see you at the marathon.